Hello, everybody. This is Peter, KJ5AJB here in Forest, Mississippi, with Ham Radio Crib Notes, and I'm going to go over a topic on the Inovato Quadra of doing a factory restore on the newer one, the 4K Quadra4K. The other day, I noticed a couple of the panes on my ham clock didn't seem to be loading, so I directly from the ham clock had it restart the Quadra itself, and it came back up. When it came back up, it was just a blank screen. It did the initial load of the ambient software and everything, but once it got to a certain point, it was just a blank screen with a little flashing cursor, and that's all she did. So I went through the process of doing the restore on it, but I figured, well, maybe some of the folks out there haven't done this before, and we'll go through it. So anyways, get yourself something to drink, and let's get going. All right, news on the channel is we're up to 536 subscribers, and man, it's just really surprised me. Last I was just a little over 500, and it seems to be zooming along here. But I appreciate y'all interest in the things I'm posting, and hopefully I can continue to come up with some quality content for you to watch. I try to keep my videos somewhat short, anywhere from 15 to probably 30 minutes. Once I edit them, they're usually less than 30 minutes. So I figure anything longer than that people tend to lose their attention span and just move on to something else. So, but anyways, we'll start off with this. If you haven't subscribed, it's free. Go ahead and subscribe. Little buttons like right down there. Mash that thumbs up for me. And then share it with your buddies. So, like I said, my Inovato Quadra kind of bit the ghost the other day, and I had to do a restore on it. And it was the first time I did the restore on the newer version. And so I figured I would put together a little video to show folks how to step through it. And there was like one common mistake I've seen a lot of folks do, according to a lot of the posts on their forum and stuff. And I'm going to show you the thing that causes that as we get along here. So let me move over to, first of all, we're going to have to go to, first thing, I'm going to tell you some of the things you're going to need here. So let me move over to my phone here. You're going to need micro SD card of some type, and depending on the card reader you've got on your main computer, you're either going to need a micro SD reader, or you're going to need a little adapter sleeve here for the standard SD card size. And that's what you're going to put the ISO file on to using Balena Etcher to do your restore. So I'm going to move over to the instructions on the Inovato forum first, and then I'll take you to the Balena Etcher website to see where you have to download it. So move over to my screen share here. All right. You can go directly to the Inovato.com site, and you click on forum. It'll take you to their user forum. And I am currently in the frequently asked questions area. And one of the topic you want to look for is this one right down here that says doing a factory restore. And you click on that. There's two ways of you can actually do this. You can actually purchase a card from them to do a factory restore, or if you have a card, you can use Balena Etcher to make your own. It's not that difficult to do. So I had to quit this other app, get it out of the way. You're going to need your main computer to do this with. You're going to need a 32 gigabyte or larger micro SD card. Ideally, they say a micro SD card with an adapter. So it can, if you have a standard SD card reader, you'll need that adapter to get it in there. Okay, then the next thing you're going to want to do is to download Balena Etcher. So this other tab I've got here is the website, which is the Google search itself. So your the site itself is etcher.balena.io. It's a secure site, HTTPS. So just look for it and search for it on Google. It'll take you there. Okay. Then once you get there, it generally automatically detects what operating system you're using, and you just click on download the etcher and go through the install on your type of computer. Mine's a Mac, so it just does a disk image, and it's basically a drag and drop to the applications folder to install it. So we'll get back out of that for now. So once you have that downloaded, you can come back to the instructions here. It tells you to insert the SD card into your computer's adapter or SD slot, whichever you have. And then we're going to launch Balena Etcher. Then you're going to select the flash file from the Quadra firmware you have downloaded above. So they link two places to get the firmware. I found it before on here. Adapter. Oh, here it is right here. You have two sources. One's for the legacy Quadra and one's for the newer Quadra 4K. So I downloaded the 4K firmware myself. I've already got a card installed on my slot. On the Mac, when you install it in there, it's going to ask you whether you want to initialize it or format it or whatever. Just tell it to ignore it for now, because it's going to do a different format altogether just for the Quadras to use. So then we're going to go ahead and launch Balena Etcher. I'm going to have to probably reconfigure my screen here so it comes up. Let's see. Go to this guy. There we go. And there it is. So this is the screen for it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select flash from file. All right, I've got it on my downloads, and it's right here, Quadra-4K-B2 image-GZ. Going to open that up. Now we're going to select our target, which would be our micro SD card, and you can tell by the size of the card. These other two are my backup drives. One's my media drive for all my videos for this. The other one's my book for my backups. So I'm going to select him, and you select him. Then you click flash. It's going to ask for the password. Of your computer to do this, because it needs privileged access to do it. And away it goes. So according to this, it's going to take about 3 minutes, 3 to 10 minutes as it's going back and forth. So I'm going to pause the video and then I'll come back to you once she's done. All right, she's getting close to the end there, so I restarted the video. See what we got going. It's saying about 50 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. It keeps jumping around. So we'll get there in a little bit here. Probably at least another minute. I want to restart the video so you see what it does at the very end. Now it's validating. So it's got a couple of minutes of that, so I'll pause and we'll come back. All right, we're on the last few seconds here, about 50 seconds it's saying on the validated. I think initially it started at about 3 minutes, so that wasn't too bad. It actually went a lot faster than the writing to the card itself. All right, so now you get the little, I got the little warning thing here again that asks me if I want to eject, ignore, or initialize. I just click on eject. I'll show you on my, get it to show the full, right there so you can see that. Just click eject. It says flash completed on the app here. So we'll go ahead and quit that. I almost interrupted my recording there. All right, we'll go back to our little instructions here real quick. Go down, lock it into Safari here. Okay, we're going to do all that, and then we're going to come down here. You're going to unplug. Like I said, this is one of the biggest things people forget to do, is this right here. Unplug and don't connect your monitor, because basically what it'll do is it'll turn your little flash card, that's the monitor on the Quadra itself, it'll turn your flash card into a bootable device, and you'll end up having to redo the whole thing again with the etcher. It says this is essential. If you don't do this, ham clock will just run from the SD card and will not restore your internal memory. This leaves your restore SD card vulnerable. You only want to use it to restore the internal memory. So in other words, you need to reburn it again or format it with Balena Etcher to get it back to where you need and start over. Okay. Now on the original Quadra, you're going to insert it into the invisible slot next to the blue USB connector and plug in the power adapter. And a front panel LED will light and briefly turn red, then blue while the Quadra boots. The red again will flash while the internal ROM. This will take about 10 to 20 minutes. When it's done, the LED will turn to a final blue and later blinking, but you can ignore that. And once it's blue again, it's done. You can unpower it and remove the card and go from there. The 4K, they have a note here that says, be careful when inserting the SD card, as there is often a gap between the case and the card slot itself. So if it doesn't go in right, you shoved it into the gap and not the actual SD slot. It will not work and will rattle around inside the case. You'll feel some pressure about 2/3 of the way if it's going into the correct slot properly. Don't keep pushing if you don't. Instead, remove the card and reinsert it and make sure it goes into the right SD slot. All right. So it says insert the card, the Quadra4K on the side in front of the 2 USB ports. Plug in the power adapter. The card will click and then it is all the way in. The front. Once it's powered up, the front panel will display FLSH for flash when the flashing starts. It takes about 10 to 20 minutes, and when it's done, it'll say pass. Finally, you unplug it, then remove the SDR card, connect your monitor and everything else, and go from there. So I'm going to pause for a minute so I can get my card out of my computer, and then I'll be right back. All right. So here we are. I've got, here, I'll do it with this one first. This one's harder to see on the Legacy, because it's next to the blue USB port, and it actually looks like one of the vents. So it's like right there where its slot is, just so you know. I've got Velcro on this one because I had it stuck to the back of the monitor. So then I'll use this one as a stand for this guy while we're doing it. The Quadra4K, you see this is the back. And then if I turn it to this side here, there we go. You've got the two USB ports, and the slot is right there. So we're going to take our card. Uh-oh. I did exactly what they said. Slid it into the wrong spot. Let me pause for. All right, I got her in. What I found was you had to basically put it towards the top of that slot. All right, so I found to get it in there, you want to be more towards the top of the slot with it than the bottom. If you put it towards the bottom of the slot, it tends to fall in. So now we'll plug her in. Let's see what she does. There she goes. Hopefully you can see that there. FLSH. See if I can find something to prop it there to give it a little angle. That a little better. There we go. All right, while it's doing that, I'm going to pause, and we'll come back to it when she says pass. All right, here we are. Pass, P-A-S-S. That took approximately 6 minutes, a little over 6 minutes. It's not too bad. All right. So now we get to power off. And you got to get your card out. Last time I did this, it shot across the room. So be careful. All right. So that part's done. So I'm going to move over to where I have mine set up. I'll move my iPhone over there, and we'll hook everything up and power it on. All right, there you can see her booting up on the screen. And I get automatically booted in the ham clock. So one of the things you'll have to do is reset everything up in there. Mine's connected directly to the network, so there it goes. There it's seeing that it's connected directly to the network. If you're on Wi-Fi, you'll have to go in and reset your Wi-Fi and all that stuff. You have to reinstall all your stuff into the ham clock the way you had it before. So hopefully you kept notes on that. Most of it's pretty simple, except for maybe your lookup commands for your DX stuff. And generally, if you keep a good notebook of that. And there we go. She's up and running. So that wasn't too bad. Took about half an hour or so. I think. So I probably got at least 20 minutes worth of recording. So yeah, take you about a half an hour to do if you got everything together. If not, it'll probably take you a little longer. So anyways, let me switch back to the main screen here. So I hope that helped y'all. You got some good information out of it, and you'll be able to accomplish this yourself if you have to do it. It's just one of them pain in the butt things that happen. Some side notes on this is one of the things that says help to prevent needing to do this again. Excuse me. Always shut down your Quadra cleanly before removing power. This can be done several ways. From ham clock, click on the clock lock icon and select shut down computer. The LED or display on the front of the Quadra will turn off. Wait another few seconds, then it is safe to unplug the power adapter. It is always a good idea to power computers such as the Quadra using a surge suppressor at least, and an UPS to be especially safe, in other words, for battery backup if you need it. A large power spike can destroy the Quadra and other power equipment or corrupt its internal memory, requiring a reflash. So my experience was I had to do it from the ham clock itself. I don't know why it did not come back up, but I think from now on I will quit ham clock and shut it down directly from the Inovato operating system itself and reboot it that way. So, but anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Hope it gave you some good information. And one of the main tips, like I said, was one of the biggest comments I always see is people saying that it'll only boot from the SD card. And 99% of the time, that's because they didn't unplug the monitor from the Quadra before they tried to do the update. So with that in hand, let's go back to, don't forget to subscribe, folks. Smash that thumbs up button for me. Share it with your buddies. And that'll do it for this week. 73's KJ5AJB is signing off.